Hello everyone, Speedrunner 0-18 here, and welcome back to the 386 Speedrun Challenge, where we see how fast all Pokemon can beat Pokémon Leafgreen in a speedrun. I just wanted to say, thank you all so much for helping me get 200 subscribers. I'm just blown away by the amount of support I've got over the last few weeks. Funny thing is, I actually hit 100 subscribers around 6 to 7 months ago, and I'm already at 200. Once again, thank y'all so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, getting back to the important things. In the last speedrun challenge, Shedinja was so difficult that I actually did not have a round 1 time and was barely able to get a round 2 fight. It was the first Pokemon I legitimately had to be level 100. I can say with great certainty that Shedinja was worse than Wobbuffet. In this episode, we're doing another race. The last Kanto Legendary Birds video has been doing pretty good lately, so I figured another race will be a great way to celebrate 200 subscribers. Our contenders are Mew and Celebi. Both are very similar, and so different at the same time. They're both mythical Pokemon, the Psychic type, and have 100 in all of their stats. That is where the similarities end. The main difference is that Mew only starts with Pound, while Celebi starts with a Stab Confusion. Mew can learn every TM though, so this race will definitely be interesting. Here are the rules for this challenge. I'll put them in the description if you need to reference them later. If you have a prediction on who will win the race, or if they can beat the first place legendary Pokemon, Articuno, put down your guess in the comments below and see if you're right. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more of these. Now, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. We'll be starting with Mew. The rival fight just went down to a few pounds, not too much to talk about. After doing the Oak Parcel crap while forgetting to catch my HM users and I had to catch them later, I enter Viridian Forest. I fight some optional trainers since Mew only has access to Pound until level 10 where it can learn Transform. I think Transform will be helpful for Brock, but I'll need to use it in a creative way in order to compete with Celebi's Confusion attack. Once I get to Brock the first time, I tried fighting him right away. Geodude was slow to go down, but it went down after not too much effort, just spam Pound. Onix wouldn't go down to Pound though. I also realized I forgot to buy potions, so I reset, bought some, and came back. What I decided to do for Onix was use Transform right away. Now I resist all his moves, and I can attack him with Tackle, Bind, and Rock Tomb. Bind is very helpful here since it deals damage every turn, and so after spamming Tackle and Bind, I get the Boulder Badge at around 6.5 minutes into the run, which isn't bad, but it can be improved for round 2. Route 3 and Mount Moon go just as you'd expect them to go, but since Mew can learn any TM, I taught Mew some interesting moves that don't get too much usage, such as Rock Tomb for the Bug type and Bullet Seed for the Rock types. Once I get to Cerulean, I decide that first things first, I should fight Misty. She took a few tries, mainly since Bullet Seed is a random move, and it may not hit enough times to kill. I also learned Mega Punch at level 20, replacing Pound. That is the reason I don't just have the move tutor teach it to Mew, since it'll already know it by level up. Rival 2 is always a challenge, mainly due to that flying known as Pidgeotto, but after a couple tries, his team went down without an issue. Route 24 and 25 was a simple breeze, and I'm able to gain a ton of levels. After getting the SS ticket and defeating the innocent bystander, I fight the rival on the SS Anne. His team is easier this time, since I'm more overleveled than he is. After I get off the ship, I buy some super potions and repels and go fight Surge. The Voltorb refuses to go down in one hit, so he's annoying to take down. Pikachu is a one hit, but Raichu was a pain to figure out. I figured I'd try and transform into Raichu, but that was a stupid idea. So I just reset and spam Mega Punch for the win. After getting the bike and going through Rock Tunnel, I eventually make it back to Celadon City, where I use the center and infiltrate the Rocket hideout. I grab the black glasses in case I decide to make Mew use dark moves, but then I realized that the only dark moves Mew can learn are shitty moves like Thief, so that was a waste of time. On Giovanni, his Kangaskhan has bulky defenses and Mew is weak to his bite, but I was able to win first try luckily. After obtaining the Silph Scope, I dig out of the hideout, get the tea, and go shopping. Besides the usual super potions and super repels, I know I can buy lemonade on the roof for a cheaper price, but sometimes it's slower to do that, especially if I don't need too many healing items. I also buy 11x attack, 11x speed, 11x special, and 9 guard specs. I probably won't need to use most of these since Mew's already powerful, but this is just in case I need them. The guard specs are always good to have against the rival's sand attacking, feather dancing, smearing Pidgeot. After getting the HM for Fly, I get the TM for Return to teach Mew later and go fight Rival 4. Does he even know how to train his team? How come he only trains his team by like 3 levels at a time, but the Sylph battle feels like he injected his Pokemon with too many rare candies? It probably means he's a cheater, but let's just move on. After sending the Marowak to hell by drowning it with water bolts, I rescue Mr. Fuji from her grasp and fly to Celadon City, where I proceed to wake up Yo Mama and go down to the Safari Zone and pick up the usual items I always get there. I actually get Double Team, but I don't really use it since Mew's so powerful and it'd be too slow and unnecessary to set it up. Once I get the HM for Surf, I fly back to Celadon City and go fight Erica. Her team goes down to Aerial Ace spamming. After taking down Erica, I immediately go to Koga's gym and attempt to fight him. I grinded to level 40 on the trainers here so I could teach Return over Aerial Ace. It saves me time from having to get it at Saffron. I'll have to do that with Celebi since it cannot learn Psychic via level up unlike Mew. Anyway, Koga plus Stab Psychic equals massive stonks. Anyway, after reaping in the time save I just made, I go fly to Celadon, bike to Silphco, and fight Rival 5. His first 2 Pokemon go down to Shockwave, Charizard to Water Pulse, and everything else to Return. In this game, due to this guy's Alakazam, it's always worth having one physical move just to take him down quicker. Giovanni was also very easy since I have the moves Psychic and Water Pulse. What else could I have asked for? I guess I could make Silphco file another insurance claim by digging through its foundation. Anyway, Sabrina goes down real easily if you have Return. I should have used Psychic on her Venomoth, but I didn't since I really don't know what's wrong with my brain sometimes. I decided to teach Mew Surf so I have a better water move for Blaine. Once I get the secret key, I go test out that theory. And the theory is proven true. Surf does help with Blaine. I can't believe I never knew till now. I decided to go a step further and see if Surf would help on the final gym leader fight, but it was proven somewhat false. Apparently Psychic does better on his poison types than Surf since I got stabbed from Psychic. Oh well, we can't all be right all the time. Now that science is done for these videos, let's go down to the remaining 6 fights. Let's do this shit! On Rival 6, I took down his Pidgeot with Shockwave and his Charizard with Surf. Those are 2 generally of his hardest Pokemon, so once they were gone, I was golden. On Lorelei, I taught Calm Mind over Surf by going to the move deleter first. This move raises special attack and special defense by 1 stage, so it's better to use than X specials. I used some of those and spammed Shockwave on her Pokemon. I probably should have gotten rid of Return, but oh well, that's what round 2 is for. On Bruno, I just took down his team with a few Calm Minds and Psychic spamming. On Agatha, I just used a few Calm Minds, took down Gengar with Shockwave to bypass Double Team, and used Psychic on the rest. I did have to use a couple X-Speed since her final few Pokemon were outspeeding me. On Lance, I used a few Calm Minds, used Shockwave on Gyarados, and used Psychic on the rest of his team. This run is actually pretty easy so far, but we still got the champion left. Let's see how he goes. On the champion, I used some guard specs to protect myself from Sand Attack, set up my Calm Mind a few times, and spammed Shockwave and Psychic on everyone. Right now, due to his high special attack, it even KOs Alakazam with Shockwave, which is pretty impressive, and I finally get the win. I finally get the win after taking down Exeggutor with Psychic. Mew was a very easy Pokemon as expected, but did have to do some unique strategies to get past Brock. Despite not being able to take him down easily, Mew still got a final in-game time of 4 hours and 42 minutes, and a real time of 57 minutes and 25 seconds. Now, it may not have beaten Articuno, but the times you see in the top right of your screen are those Pokemon's round 2 times, which is what we use. The leaderboards always use the round 2 times of all the Pokemon. except Wobbuffet since I did not do a round 2 with it. Will Mew end up winning this race, or will Celebi be way faster than any of us thought? Only time will tell. Before we do Mew's round 2, let's see how Celebi does in its first run. To save you some time, I won't be talking about the stuff that is the same as the Mew run, such as doing the parcel crap, getting certain items, as well as forgetting my HM users until later. Why do I keep doing this? Anyway, to start off Celebi's run, when it gets to Brock, since it already starts with Confusion, this was by far the quickest time I've beaten Brock at. Please don't fact check that. Route 3 in Mount Moon with a Pokemon that knows a Psychic move is so easy it needs no mention, except to mention it needs no mention. Once I get to Cerulean, instead of going for Misty right away, I go fight the trainers on Route 24 and 25, since having only Psychic won't help it take down Starmie. After I get the SS ticket though, I fight Misty and take her team down with Secret Power, way better than Confusion. After getting my second badge, I head down to the SS Sand and fight Rival 3. His team goes down very easy, especially since I have Ancient Power, unlike Mew, who had the weak and inaccurate Rock Tomb. So far, Celebi has been way easier than Mew, but let's see how long that keeps up. At Surge, I teach Water Pulse over Ancient Power, but honestly, this fight was the exact same as Mew. I even get paralyzed too, so that makes it a lot better. After doing all the Rock Tunnel fun stuff, I go to the Rocket Hideout where I fight Giovanni. Water Pulse for his Onix and Confusion for his Kangaskhan. This fight was almost very similar to Mew. I'm noticing similar mid-games for both of these Pokemon so far. I also go to the department store and buy some X items I probably won't use. I didn't buy any X specials since I would get Calm Mind later, but I ended up regretting it, as you'll see in a little bit. After all the shopping as well as defeating Rival 4, sending the Marowak to hell again, rescuing Mr. Fuji, and getting Surf out of the Safari Zone, I go try and fight Koga. This fight didn't do too well, since unlike Mew, Celebi is weak to poison, so Koga was a lot harder. Plus I only had Confusion and I didn't have Psychic yet, so this fight was impossible at this point. After failing this fight a few times, I decided to fight Erica instead. She went down to Confusion, unlike Koga. Instead of fighting Koga right away, I went to Saffron City, got the TM for Psychic, and decided to rescue Silphco. On Rival 5, with Pidgeot being able to deal super effective damage to Celebi, I had to take it down fast. Gyarados would be easy with Shockwave, but Charizard would deal so much damage to me, so I used up all my rare candies and try again. After failing at this fight over and over to Charizard, I decided to leave and fight Koga instead. Just like before, Koga plus Stab Psychic equals massive stonks. After getting the Soul Badge, I try Rival 5 again, but I just couldn't take his Charizard down. I realized the error of my ways, and I went back to buy some X specials. Using a couple during the fight allowed Charizard to be knocked out way faster before it had the chance to use its fire attacks. Giovanni right up top also went down in a similar fashion to Mew, and the damage done to the Sylph building was also done in a similar fashion to Mew. Sabrina also went down to return spamming as well. Honestly, Celebi had the worst mid-game compared to Mew, but with perfect routing, I think the two will have a great chance to compete for the best time. When I get to Cinnabar and battle Blaine, I don't have the advantage of using Surf like Mew did, so I had to use some X specials to raise Celebi's attack. I probably should have used Calm Mind, but I couldn't think of a move to replace, so I just stuck with X specials for the time being. After taking him down, I go fight Giovanni. I just spammed Water Pulse and Psychic for the win without any X items, so that was a pretty easy fight. Now, on to the final 6. I'm not doing that thing, I only do it once per episode so it doesn't get old. On Rival 6, I was having very similar problems with Charizard, and I finally decided it was time to teach Calm Mind to Celebi. Having this will not only allow Celebi to kill the Charizard, but also not get killed by What the flying shit? On Lorelei, I set up some Calm Minds and spammed Shockwave. It was a bit scary since Celebi's weak to Dewgong's Ice Beam, but I luckily didn't have too many problems this fight. Bruno literally went the same as Mew. Next. On Agatha, I literally just spam Psychic. No Calm Minds needed. Next again. On Lance, I set up some Calm Minds, used Shockwave on Gyarados, and Psychic the rest. This is literally identical to Mew. On the Champion, you know what? This is literally identical to Mew. Let's move on from this fight. Anyway, Celebi's final in-game time was 4 hours and 14 minutes, and a real time of 53 minutes and 28 seconds. Celebi did beat Mew's round 1 time by 30 minutes, but both routes had tons of mistakes, so this is still anyone's race. I'm typing this right now before doing round 2, so I have no idea who is going to win. I'll try my best to get either one to win. I have no bias when doing these races, but I'm predicting Celebi will be faster solely based on how Brock went. Let's see how fast these Pokemon truly are. Let us go to round 2. We'll be starting with Mew's second round, then we'll go to Celebi. Let's talk about all the major fights and see what was done to try and be faster / more consistent. On Brock, I discovered the fastest way to beat him. I would spam Pound on Geodude, which is slow, but there isn't much we can do about that. When I get to Onix though, I would use a bunch of Pound, then transform into Onix, and spam Bind, Tackle, and Rock Tomb. Plus being an Onix makes me resistant to all of Brock's moves. While my moves are also not very effective against Brock, at least they're better than Pound for the most part. Since I was also underleveled, I had the move tutor teach me Mega Punch, so I wouldn't have to use my rare candy since I decided to save them for later. On Misty, I tried to Bullet Seed her Pokemon, but I kept getting killed by Starmie. I even tried using Transform on Starmie to be resistant to her water moves, but Swift wasn't the best move to use either, since using it would always put Starmie into heal range. What I ended up doing was just leave and go buy some super potions so I could stay alive. Doing that did cost some time, but hopefully Mew can still be fast. Lieutenant Surge was basically the same as last time, just spam strong moves, in this case being Mega Punch. In the Celadon store, the only X items I bought were X specials since I wouldn't get Calm Mind until after Sabrina, as well as guard specs for the champion sand attacking demon of a Pokemon. I did get X defense, but I never used them once. Oops. Before Erica, I actually got the TM for Psychic in Saffron City, so she was a one-hit sweep. After Erica, I flew straight to Koga and did the same strat. Muk was tricky since Psychic won't OHKO, so I use a Shockwave and then Psychic. I probably should have used an X special here, but whatever. On Rival 5, I use a couple X specials and kill his whole team pretty easily with Shockwave and Psychic. Giovanni went down with one X special and Psychic spamming. Before Blaine, I use all my rare candies, talk Calm Mind over return, and use 2 of those and spam Water Pulse. I didn't teach Surf this time since it really wasn't necessary, and it was too slow to go to the move tutor to get rid of it. On Giovanni, I use Water Pulse on the first Rhyhorn so it can't slow me down. Then on Dugtrio, I used 2 Calm Minds and spammed Psychic and Water Pulse. On Rival 6, I did the same strat I did on Rival 5. The advantage of Mew so far is that Mew isn't weak to either Pidgeot or Charizard. I wonder if this will help Mew get a very good time. We'll see. On Lorelei, I used 6 Calm Minds since Lapras won't get OHKO'd to Shockwave even on 6, so I just use all of them. On Bruno, I use only 3 Calm Minds and spam Psychic. I probably should have used a guard spec since being slowed down by Rock Tomb made this fight pretty scary. On Agatha, I used 6 Calm Minds, kill the first Gengar with Shockwave since it used 6 double teams, and spam Psychic on the rest. Her second Gengar was faster than me and kept putting me to sleep, but I bought full restores in the Pokemon League just in case it happened. On Lance, I used 6 Calm Minds, Shockwaves the Gyarados and Aerodactyl, and used Psychic on the rest. Alright, one more fight. Let's do this. On the champion, since Pidgeot wasn't doing too much damage, I only had to heal once while setting up my Calm Minds. I also had some guard specs to try and minimize the impact of Sand Attack, but 2 ended up hitting me during this fight, which made taking down Exeggutor tricky, but it was nothing I couldn't manage. This run was a lot better for Mew. I'm really proud of the strat I made up for Brock because it allowed Mew to be fast even though Celebi started with confusion. Let's see how much Mew improved its time. It speedran Pokémon Leafgreen for the second time in 4 hours flat and a final in-game time of 48:26. That is a very good time, and it puts Mew in first place on the leaderboard. Is what I would say if this was the end of the video. No one goes on the leaderboard in this race until we see what time Celebi gets. Do you think Celebi can beat Mew's 4-hour time since it starts with confusion and breezes through the early game? Let's find out. I'll save you some time. Brock was literally a confusion sweep. On Misty, I had to fight Route 24 and 25 before her since Celebi can't learn a grass attacking move until the TM for Giga Drain. It can't learn Bullet Seed. She was easy to take down with Secret Power though. On Lieutenant Surge, it was very similar to all these runs so far, just spamming powerful moves and hoping to hit. On Erica, since I still had confusion, I didn't have to go to Saffron first to get it, so I just spammed confusion for the win. After Erica, I biked to Saffron to get Psychic, since as proven in round 1, Koga won't do with confusion. But for some reason, I decided to go fight Rival 5 next, so let's see how he goes. On Rival 5, I had taught Return over Secret Power and Psychic over Confusion. I used some X specials on Pidgeot to make my special moves more powerful. It was tricky to do since I was weak to Pidgeot's wing attack, but I win pretty easily after taking it down. Giovanni was a joke like it usually is. On Sabrina, I spam Return on her Psychic types and use Psychic on her Psychic type Venomoth. Yes, you can do gyms out of order in this game. I haven't done it lately, but I totally can. Doesn't that look satisfying? On Koga, I do literally the same strat as Mew, except I also didn't use an X special like an idiot. Yep, same strategy and mindset. On Blaine, I do the same strat as Mew did, except Blaine is more difficult, since if Growlithe hits with Fire Blast, it does so much damage, and I have to heal a lot. This is another disadvantage Celebi has compared to Mew, since Mew never healed once in this fight. I still hope Celebi can catch up though. On Giovanni, you know what? I'll come back once I get to a fight that isn't the same strat as Mew. Oh look, we're literally at the champion and it's still the same strategy. Celebi even has the same moveset. The only difference seemed to be the final level and the amount of healing items used. Nope, same level. Anyway, let's see how Celebi did in round 2. It speedran Pokémon Leafgreen for the second time with a final in-game time of 4 hours and 9 minutes and a real time of 45 minutes and 27 seconds. Celebi was 9 in-game minutes slower. It could have honestly been from all the extra healing items Celebi had to do for the rivals Pidgeot and Charizard as well as Blaine. Mew didn't have many problems with this race since pure Psychic types in Kanto are very overpowered since the Dark and Steel type scarcely exists in this game. This is still a very interesting race since these Pokemon are basically identical, but what this race shows is that your type can be a final factor in whether you get a fast time or not. No matter who won this race though, both Mew and Celebi beat the Kanto Legendary Birds times. Mew and Celebi get first and second place on the leaderboard, and first and second place among all legendary Pokemon. It looks like our next race is going to be the Johto Legendary Beasts. This race will happen once we hit 300 subscribers. Let's go for it. That's all I got for you. If you liked this race, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. We'll do the next race at 300 subscribers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next speedrun.